We Geek podcast. Today is May 4th, and May the 4th be with you, of
May
course.
the 4th be with you.
I'm Adam. I'm joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? And we're going to give you some geeky news. Man, so how was your week, dude?
Good. You know, it's just mostly still work.
Yeah, man, work is a killer. It's just been a week, but I won't bore you with that. We talked about that a little bit before the show, but man, I've been playing some crazy video games that I haven't played in a while, and some I haven't played, some I've only tested, but I'll get into all that later, man. Just to give you a hint, one of them is Kingdom Hearts.
No way.
I decided to go out and buy all the Kingdom Hearts games for some reason.
Okay, that's bold of you.
Well, I blacked out. I watched Aladdin and blacked out and woke up, and I had Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and Kingdom Hearts 2.5, and I got them both for $20 total.
Nice. Well, there you go. Can't beat that.
Yep, at GameStop. I don't know how it worked out. Not a gift card, but I had the card, and it turns out the GameStop I went to, they're like, hey, you have like $5 credit here for a down payment or something. I pre-ordered Destiny. That's how long it's been since I've been to GameStop for the one I went to. I really should just travel all over Central Florida to see if I have credit at their GameStops because this was one out like by my grandparents' house. Like I've never been out this one in a while. And anyway, so I dusted the old PlayStation 3 off and I played some of it, and I played Ni no Kuni, which is freaking amazing. My next day off, I'm going to play way more of that. But we'll get into all that later when we talk about reviews and stuff we've been doing. But that's pretty much been like my fun for the last week or two. Hung out with some friends and family and, of course, stuff like that. But that's the geeky stuff I've been doing. I haven't really ventured off, I don't think, into anything else that I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, man. So, I did watch They Live.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Have you seen that?
It's been a long time.
That's exactly what it was for me. I was like, I remember briefly that it had Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Probably mispronouncing that, but I remember it had him in it. It had, what's his name? David, or, oh man, They Live. It had, who was his like sidekick buddy?
God, it has been so long.
He's in the Saints Row games. Keith David.
Yes, that's it.
Yep. So man, we'll talk about that probably later, and maybe we'll do something with it. But I thought, watching it again, I was like, God, I brought back so many memories, and I kept thinking how great it was. And to me, I enjoy it more than I did the Terminator, to be honest.
Really? Okay.
I know that's crazy, but I loved how corny it was. I loved how weird it was. They spend so much time with characters not saying anything and them just walking around a city as a bum.
Yeah.
It's so bizarrely paced, but not at one point did I ever feel bored. I was just like, what are they doing? Why are they doing this? Why are they showing him in a shanty town? Like, you don't see movies like that anymore. No one would take a risk like that. Or like, let's just follow a hobo around. Like, why is he even there? He just walked in from Denver. And actually, a lot of the things were very relevant, of course, like, finding a job and the job crisis and, the whole obey, that whole thing.
Yeah.
It was very relevant. So I thought it was just cool. It was a cool, corny, cheesy, like just old school sci-fi type material, but it was, in, that must have been the 80s?
Yeah, it was 80. I know it was 80 something. Had to have been.
And the fight between Rowdy Roddy Piper and Keith David.
Yeah,
it's like 10 minutes. Literally, Roddy Piper gets kicked in the nuts like 10 times, and you gotta see it, man. You gotta see it again. But yeah, that's what I've been doing this week. We got the big Civil War coming up.
Yeah, man, big weekend coming.
Oh yeah. There was something I saw over the weekend, but I can't think of it. I don't know. If it comes to me, I'll talk about it. It wasn't in a theater. It was on Blu-ray. Oh, I watched Deadpool again. That's what it was. Yeah. I knew I saw something because once a week I watch a movie or go to my parents or with somebody. I like to watch movies, so that was one of them, and it was Deadpool, and it was good. But yeah, anyway, let's get into it. Enough about us. Um, right off the top, man, this news: the Batman: The Killing Joke trailer for the upcoming Warner Brothers animated film was released. What'd you think of it?
I loved it.
Yeah,
Just
man.
just Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. Like I need nothing else from Batman.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
exactly.
it.
I think he's we've talked about this before. We both loved Ben Affleck. We like Christian Bale, of course Keaton, but that Batman is like our Batman. I think that's the one
That
we go to. That's the voice we hear when we read the comics.
yeah.
Yeah, Evan
And
just kills it. And same with the Joker.
yeah, that's whenever people ask, they're like, "Who was the best Batman and who's the best Joker?" It's very telling. Like the people that it separates people into who I do want to hang out with and people I don't want to hang out with.
Oh
Not
no.
not to see who likes what, but when I say Kevin Conroy's Batman and Mark Hamill's Joker, the people who know, I'll hang with. The people who are like, "Who is that?" No, I have no time for you. Go away.
Well, I don't discriminate. No, I'm just kidding. No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's when you're having the conversation and my ears perk up, and I'm like, oh shit, you're not just on the face, into this. Like you're into this. Like
Yeah.
let's sit down and let's talk. Like that's what makes it. That's what makes me do. I'm like, oh wow, like okay, I don't have to sit here and explain things to you. Like we can have a conversation. Like this is cool. But yeah, man, and the way I present it is because usually, like what you said, I'll get the huh? What do you mean? Isn't he Luke Skywalker? That's when I spend a few minutes and I educate. I'm like, okay, Batman the animated series. Back when we could and then that's when you talk to them, about the Mr. Freeze episode and stuff like that. I'm like, you really got to check this out. I've gotten a few people to actually go back and watch it and go, holy crap, like I didn't like think it was this good as a kid. I did, but I didn't think, what I mean,
Right.
that weird, like, thinking back, you think, oh, it's just an animated TV show, but we go back and we're like, no, like it's really good, and I'll have them do that. A few of my friends have done that, and I'm just like, yep, see.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that's a cartoon that holds up. Like you could air that today and it would not. Like it hasn't. It's timeless. It
It has
really
to air today,
is.
right? Do you think? Do you
I
think it still airs?
I don't think it does. I mean, it should, but
There's so many channels. That's why I don't know.
yeah. But I mean, they've been weird about Batman because remember they had Beware the Batman and then they had the Batman. Like they've had a couple
Yeah.
different series and none of them have really stuck. Like
Right.
but like DC animated TV has been weird. Like they canceled the Green Lantern series that they were doing. Like it just kind of that one and whichever Batman one was on at the time, like they just disappeared.
Right.
And
That's true.
Yeah, and it was like, well, what happened? Where did they go? They were like, we've stopped airing them. It's like, why? Well, because hey, look over there, Adventure Time reruns. Like
Right.
it was so bizarre. Like it just happened, and then nobody knows.
Now would be kind of the golden era to have comic book cartoon shows, because you got to think the people that are really enjoying the movies right now, of course, they're the old comic book fans, but a lot of the comic book fans, basically people our age that are not exactly like us, know the X-Men from the animated series. They know Jubilee, they know Storm, they know those characters. You would think that right now would be the prime time to do animated uh, uh, comic book characters, and Marvel's doing it. Marvel's got a ton. They have like a bunch of Avengers cartoons, Ultimate Spider-Man and whatnot. But DC, I can't think of one that. I mean, they have Go Teen Titans, but that's it, right?
Is that
Like,
even still on?
see, that's the thing. Like this would be the prime time to do a Justice League, a.
Well, they are doing a new JLA,
Oh, they do. Okay, see that makes sense. They need to do that.
and that has Conroy, and I think they're bringing back Tim Daly for Superman.
Well, there we go. So we have some hope. So that I didn't know about. I guess I have known about that. It didn't hit me till you just said it. So that makes sense. That needs to happen. And maybe that's probably why we're not getting a Batman, series. He's in the Justice League, even though he totally could hold his own in his own series, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of like, I guess, having a Wolverine show or an X-Men show. You're probably going to give them the ensemble cast. But yeah, if they did like a Young Justice or something like that, that would be cool.
Hey, they keep talking about a new series of young. Netflix is looking at a third season for Young Justice.
They should do it kind of based off that animated movie that I saw with the Justice League versus what was it? What
Teen
the Teen
Titans.
Titans?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they should.
What they're gonna do is just carry on from the show that they had.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because the actual Young Justice show was really good.
I was gonna say I would love to see Damian like in that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I love him as a Robin.
Yeah, and especially the him that they keep doing in the animated stuff, because he's such a prick. Like,
He is.
It's terrible, but
Yeah.
it makes sense. Like, it's not completely unwarranted. This is the child of I said Talia al Ghul, but it's basically like his lineage is Ra's al Ghul and Bruce Wayne. Like,
right.
and he acts like both of them at the same time, which is terrifying.
It is terrifying. He is the Batman that is going to terrify people, and that's really cool, I think. But yeah, man. So man, I don't know. They're doing great in the live action TV space. They really gotta pick up their animated stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. We got some Green Lantern Corps movie. Greg Miller from Mad Max. Reportedly George. Why did I do Greg Miller?
Greg
got kind of funny on the mind for some
right.
reason. George Miller, known from Mad Max, reportedly eyed to direct the Green Lantern movie. What do you think about that?
It'll never happen.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
It'll never happen. It would be interesting, especially because there was around the time of the writer's strike. What's this been? 10 years now, something like that. There was a Justice League movie in the works, and he was attached to direct that. But that all kind of fell apart. That was when Army Hammer, who went on to play the Lone Ranger,
right?
He was going to be Batman.
Oh wow, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he would have been a good Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But so I mean that started to come together, and then when we had the writer's strike, it just kind of drifted off to the wayside. But I don't know. I mean I don't know if George Miller's a good fit, just because his movies are his movies.
Right.
And I mean, we're going to get into some news about why I don't think this would work.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, you go ahead and take the next one.
Yeah, because Seth Grahame-Smith, the guy from Pride and Prejudice and Zombies and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, who was going to direct the Flash movie, has just bailed on the project. He cited creative differences, and he said, "Yep, I'm out."
Yep, that is not good news.
No, especially when you consider there's also reports that James Wan is going to jump ship from Aquaman.
Yeah, man, it doesn't look good. I can't. I don't think this has anything to do with Batman vs Superman's performances.
I think it's the executives' reactions.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's the suits that are saying, "Holy crap, this was wrong. What if everything we've got going is wrong?" And instead of trusting the filmmakers, they're doing what, and I hate to be this guy, they're doing what Hollywood people do, which is screwing everything up.
Yep, pretty much. This is the problem with having Zack Snyder as the guy with the vision for the whole universe. That's where I think this problem. Wait, who did you say you thought it was the main issue with Batman vs Superman?
Was Goyer. That was
Goyer. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's Goyer, but this is what we got from Batman vs Superman. I don't want as painted the rest of the universe, and I know you don't either. And I think maybe that's what they were trying to do. And who knows? Maybe I don't know, man. I because it seemed like for a second there they were going, everything's gonna be fun. Maybe that's what did it. Maybe someone behind the scenes are like, let's add some humor, and they were like, I don't know. I don't know what to think, because these were the actual people. Because it was the director of Aquaman, James Wan, that came out and said, this is gonna be different. This is gonna be fun. Hopefully it wasn't DC that was like, no, you need to go back in there and make it a little bit darker. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's really hard to say, but this does not bode good either way.
No, it really doesn't.
No, it doesn't. And it and that's kind of the problem these big studios have with hiring this kind of talent to do such a wide array of movies. Like Marvel has had their known issues.
Yeah.
Edgar Wright.
Uh-huh.
I mean, actually all of them. John Favreau. Who am I? The big one. Who?
Joss Whedon.
Josh Whedon. They all have had issues. They've all bumped heads with Marvel, where Disney was like, "You guys can do your great movies and we got great dialogue and whatever, but you need to abide by certain guidelines because we have a big map plan." That doesn't bode well with these huge writers and directors because they like to be free, and with these you can't be that free. That's very limiting. So Marvel's had great success with it, of course. What was it, the Russo brothers that are doing Civil War 3 and the Avengers movies, right?
Right. They did Winter Soldier too, right?
Right. And they're very much work for hire, but they do a great fucking job.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
not to mention who is it doing Guardians? James Gunn.
James Gunn. Well, James Gunn has had a lot of freedom. A lot of freedom. I think more than any of the other ones, right? Because he's not abiding to anything. He's in the space. Tell a space movie and add a little bit of Thanos.
True. It'll be interesting to see, like, as they start to become a little, like, as everything starts to circle Infinity War.
Yes.
Like, how is that leash going to tighten? Yeah, that's...
And he's been the director that I have read, because I follow him on Instagram. He's very open and honest about things. He has said it's like making a very big budget movie that's very much his. And I think he knows he's lucky because he got characters that not even comic book fans knew about.
No, everybody was like, wait a minute, that thing? Like, the only one anybody recognized was Rocket because they may have played Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Exactly.
Like, that's it. They were like, oh yeah, I remember him. Like, they're putting that in a movie?
Right. Yeah, it and I knew them from the comics, of course. I loved the whole Annihilation run that all kind of like the space characters were in. It was back in like 2005 or 2006. I'm probably getting my dates wrong. Where the Silver Surfer is what brought me in, but that's when I first kind of really got into Nova and all these weird Drax and all these characters that I didn't really know about. So when it was announced, literally I was the only person that I knew that was excited about it. Except you were excited about because you were like, this is going to be different. But everyone was freaked out like, what is that? That's going to fail.
Yeah, like these were characters, like I didn't know these characters. Like right. This is one of the rare times where, I mean, I've not known a lot of characters. Like, I don't know a lot about Black Panther, for instance. When we do Captain Marvel, I don't know a lot about Captain Marvel.
Right.
But I know who they are. Like, I'd never even heard of any of these guys. Except for Rocket. But I was like, this is going to be a movie? Mm-hmm. And I was looking at this at the cast listing and the character descriptions, and I was like, this is either going to be really awesome or it's going to be the one that tanks. And
yeah, exactly. And I had my, at the beginning I was like, oh no, like this is going to be the one where it starts to fall. Where like if one's going to fail, it's probably going to be this one because most people didn't know who they were. Almost everybody didn't know who they were. And the closer I got to it and the more I saw, I was like, holy shit, this is like Marvel's Star Wars. And that's what got me excited from kind of the beginning of it. It was because I knew that I love Marvel's space stuff. Because there's like three big parts of the Marvel Universe. There are like the grounded heroes. There is the magic. So like the grounded are more like X-Men and stuff like that, even though they do go into space. X-Men are all over the place, so you get that. But there's more of like, Spider-Man and Hulk and all those things. And then there's like the magic, and then there's the space stuff.
It kind of breaks down to the difference between New York, magic, and space.
Right, pretty much. Yep. And I loved it when the X-Men went to space. I loved that whole Annihilation thing, and I didn't know any of the characters going into it except Silver Surfer. That's what got me in. And I was like, oh, wow, this is good. This Nova guy, oh my god, he's almost like a Green Lantern, but he has all the power. Like, I was like, this is really cool. And it's what got me into that side of the universe. And when the Guardians of the Galaxy, like, oh my god, they're going to explore that, and it's so cool. It sucks there's no Skrulls and stuff like that, but whatever. And so, yeah, I don't know. So, I mean, I forgot where we were going with this, but yes. Okay, so James Gunn, perfect place for him to go to that. So I totally understand why DC has these huge talents, and they're probably freaking out. I mean, the only confirmed that is what Wonder Woman's done. Batman, I totally see Ben Affleck staying on because he has a lot riding on it.
Well, and I'm sure Ben has a lot of pull.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. So it's these other ones that oh man, like it doesn't bode well.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see moving forward what happens, and oh man.
I mean, that's the gamble from a business side. You want something that's going to do really well, so you want that kind of control. You want that sort of final cut privilege in a sense. But from the actual movie side of it, from the you have to trust the people making it. I mean, from the director all the way on down. I mean,
Yep.
you have to. I know you can't just kind of give them free reign to do whatever they want, but I don't know. And maybe that's not what this is. Maybe it's something else entirely. But 9 times out of 10, it's usually, people in a boardroom freak out, and because they don't actually know how this stuff works.
Yep.
and it's just it bugs the hell out of me, and it usually leads to some really terrible things. What happened with Ant-Man could have been a catastrophe.
Yep.
But I mean, when Peyton Reed stepped in and they worked everything out with Edgar Wright about the credits and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
they were lucky enough that they looked at what Wright had written and they said, you know what, there's actually some really solid stuff in here. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Right.
Like let's actually, they recognize talent and a good film,
Mm-hmm.
but it has to fit in that box.
Yep.
And sometimes there's a big, I mean, we all remember the Age of Ultron controversies, which sounds like a bigger deal than perhaps it is.
Right.
But it's, it can lead to some clashes, and I just hope that everybody that walks away that learns something from it.
Right. Yeah, no, totally. Because back in the day when a director and a writer and everyone had an idea of something, they went into it and did it, and now it just seems like the studio, and I don't know, I don't know too much about how it works behind the scenes, but it just seems like the directors and writers have lost a lot of control what they used to have.
Money.
It's not their baby anymore. Yeah, exactly.
Money.
It's money.
The-
It's this isn't the original idea. This is totally a studio. I don't know. So
the bottom line is the bottom line.
Yep.
And that's sad. But that's why something like Ex Machina comes along with a small budget, and it's independent. And the thing that's great is somebody like Oscar Isaacs who is getting to the point where in very short order he'll be able to write his own ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Domhnall Gleeson both.
Oh yeah.
They can look at a project. You have this kind of new wave of people who are just going to look at a project and say, this looks awesome, I want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Williams did that with Good Will Hunting. It wasn't about, well, I can make X amount of money. It was like, I read the screenplay, it was great, let's make the movie.
Yeah, and see that, I mean, this is a whole nother conversation, and we've talked about it before, where Hollywood doesn't take risk on original ideas, that things like Ex Machina, that was fantastic, but that is super rare. We used to get 3 or 4 of those a year, and now it's like 1.
Right.
And that's the problem, is that a lot of these studios are focused on the big blockbuster action comic book movie threequel sequel, that all of these other like rare like cool ideas are being thrown away to the wayside, and that we could go on about that.
Yeah. Well, it's why people like Jon Favreau, after everything they do with everything he did with Iron Man, he went and made Chef.
Yep.
Because he was like, look, hang on, I want to get back to just, I have a thought and I want to make a movie about it, and he did. And it's the same thing with Kevin Smith, who was like, I have an idea, I'm gonna write it, and I'm gonna make this movie really cheap, and I'm not doing it for anybody. Really, I'm making these movies because I want to see them.
Right.
And I love that. Even if the movie doesn't turn out great, I love the spirit. I really do.
Yeah, and I mean, this happens in the comic book world as well. So, like, you have Scott Snyder, who does Batman, and he is top of that company, but also he's going to do Witches. He's going to do American Vampire. He's going to do these other things that are his, that he owns, that he can go and, it's his baby. He's not beholden to really anybody. So.
Yeah, you can't, when you're somebody that has that kind of mind, You
Mhm.
you can't just being stuck in a box like that is no good. Like
Yeah.
you will go crazy.
Yep. And that's why we talked about Josh Whedon. Like, oh man, Firefly was to me his best piece of work, and it got murdered after the first season because they were too scared. They were like, nope, nope, nope. This doesn't get the same viewers that Buffy was doing. It's got to go. And they screwed it up. Like anyway, but I'd rather see a lot of these big writers and directors do something original. Where and that I think we're going to see that in the next 5 years where it might come to a point where that is a big problem, where they're like, look, we're not getting any say so. And we're maybe starting to see that now with DC. DC, who knows? We'll find out soon, right?
Right. And it comes down to, like, even if these directors and these writers who, they say, look, we have ideas and we're not even being heard. If that's the case, it's not a matter of they're not taking our ideas. It's like they have this thing and that's that.
Right.
That's the worst kind of thing. I hope it's not that bad, because that's about as that's the worst it could get.
Yeah.
The problem with that in the short term is that these writers and directors walk, but there's always going to be somebody to take their place. Always, because there's always somebody that's going to want the work and is going to want the credit. And hey, that's literally that's show business. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them a bit. But they're going to get stuck with all the problems, all the issues, any bad reviews, all of it. Like that, then that's going to be on them. Right. It may not be their fault. They may have just happened to have been next in line, and they're the ones that get fed to the wolves for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's and who knows? Maybe something like this happens, and we get the next James Wan who comes up and says, "Hey, I'll take this thing and we'll right the ship and do something incredible with it." It could happen, and it does, but it's not entirely likely.
I think what's probably going to happen is they're probably going to get a lot of younger writers and directors to do these things so that they can be molded, so that they can be shaped, and they're not as like, I should be doing my original. They should be like, no, I want to work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Does that make sense? Even though it's risky with that. I just I hope that from moving forward, and we're going to take a break real fast, but I hope moving forward that they go, hey, that Thor thing we need to put in, let's put that as the credit scene instead of throwing Thanos for the third time. Let's push that to the end so it can be confusing for people, but it doesn't screw up the pacing of the story.
Right.
And that's really all that needed to be done in that movie, I think. There was a lot more other stuff, but that was the big, like, huh? What is he doing in this cave? but yeah, man. All right, well, we still got a ton of movie news to talk about: Wolverine, Avengers, Dark Tower, Tomb Raider. But we're gonna take a break. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you back in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we're knee deep in movie news. We got some Avengers news for Infinity War.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel is supposed to appear in the film.
Apparently.
Yep, before her own film. So
well, and I mean, we'd heard there'd be casting news coming in the next month or so.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometime during the summer, we'll have a creative team, we'll have the director, and we'll have a lead.
Sweet. I mean, I haven't seen, of course, Civil War. Maybe it shows up in that. Who knows? I'm hoping, and again, haven't read any news. Unless we talk about it here on the show, I don't know anything else besides that.
Right.
I hope there are some surprises in Civil War. Captain Marvel, who knows? I can't even think of who I would like to see in the Marvel Universe, but maybe some people that they've hinted at. Maybe Doctor Strange. We know we're getting Spider-Man. I hope there is still a surprise or two.
Yeah.
And I'll find out Thursday, tomorrow. So we'll be back next week to talk all about that.
Yeah.
But
have you seen the new TV spot for Civil War?
No, I haven't.
Where it's just kind of it's a really quick, like 30-second, kind of like, hey, here's some action stuff, and then the logo spot. But it's great. After it shows where Spidey drops in, he goes, hey everyone, and Tony turns and looks at him and he goes, no, we don't start a conversation in the middle of a fight. And Spidey just looks up and he salutes Cap. He goes, hey Cap, big fan.
That's funny. Oh man, I can't wait to see that.
It fits with what we've been hearing, that this Spider-Man is going to be the Spider-Man moving forward.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can, hey, I've seen I'm trying to stay away from any spoilers or anything like that. There are some few trusted people on the internet where they have like completely spoiler-free reviews, basically saying if they like it, and they said they've absolutely loved the Spider-Man. This is to them the best Spider-Man that we've seen on screen to date. So that says a lot because these same people that have said that have said Andrew Garfield has been their favorite and it'd be impossible to top, and that this kid seems to have done it. So
Yeah.
kudos to them. And if that's true, then awesome. I'm totally in. I can't wait moving forward. It's going to be so interesting seeing how Sony plays out with their next one. I didn't know this, but Marvel has creative control over Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Sony's picture, they're getting the money, but I guess that was part of the deal that like Marvel was like, I guess Sony was like, hey, you guys have been doing some great stuff. Can you get your people over in here to kind of like help us with the story and what's going to happen and design and stuff like that? And they're like, yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Do it as long as it makes us money.
right. And here's the other thing. It comes back to the box.
Yep.
Spider-Man and those movies have to fit the Marvel universe. So
Yep.
it would stand to reason that they have creative control. But
True.
this is a totally unexplored section of this universe. So
Yep.
there is so much room to work here.
Yep. Oh yeah, and it's a big part of it too. I mean, Spider-Man for Marvel was the Mickey Mouse for years.
Yeah.
I think it was
huge.
originally, Fantastic Four, then it was Spider-Man and sort of Wolverine, pretty much. And dude, I can't wait. And now it's pretty much like Iron Man, Captain America, and that kind of stuff. But
Well, now, I mean,
Avengers.
now they've come back to where they started the cinematic universe with where they started,
That's true. That's
and
very true.
and now we're
Were you
getting up.
late?
We're,
I'm just kidding.
and now we're getting up to the 90s. Like,
Right. It's true,
oh,
man. It's really it's great, dude. Like I have a lot of hope moving forward, and I know I'm one of those true believers that maybe just maybe one day we'll get Fantastic Four and X-Men
hey,
to share that. But who knows?
I want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we can do that right now if you
Yeah,
want.
because we talked about that some off the air, but I want to talk about that a little bit here because you shared. It was funny because I had actually seen that video, like on my list of recommendations. And
Oh, really? That's
yeah.
how it came from me.
And like when I clicked it, and then I was like, oh, it's a fan who's putting some stuff together, and I was looking for the string and the push pins, and I was like, all right, whatever.
Right.
But then you threw that up, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll watch this. And there are some good points in it about how my favorite one, basically because it supports my argument, was where somebody was talking about a deal with with the X-Men or something, and whoever it was that worked at Marvel was like, neither, but what's coming will blow your mind.
Right.
That's why I think it's Fantastic Four.
Right. Well,
it's
the way the question was worded to her, the person that works at Marvel, was either either Fox lost the rights to or I'm sorry, it was either Agents of Shield was canceled
right.
or Fox lost the rights to do X-Men.
Right, and we should preface this was based on when they indefinitely postponed the Inhumans movie.
Right, exactly. And so yeah, so the theory was that X-Men was going to go back to Disney, and that they lost that Shield was canceled. So basically, the person there was like, no, neither. What you're going to see is going to amaze you. And what I thought was, just like Sony didn't lose the rights to Spider-Man, but they're still in bed with Disney now. It's possible that because when Marvel Fox now has the rights to do X-Men TV shows, but we never heard what Disney got in return. I'm just gonna say Marvel because it's less confusing.
Right.
We never heard what Marvel got in return. We never found out what they got on their end. All we heard was now they're going to be able to do these 3 different shows, or maybe 2 or 3 anyway. So, and they're in production, like they're ready to go. So, I think they're holding off because I think it has to do with and so did this person doing the video. has to do with them in the movie universe. Now, my crackpot theory, and so is this guy, I guess, but was what if that during Infinity War something changes, reality changes, blah blah blah. Suddenly, the Fantastic Four or the X-Men, long shot X-Men, probable is Fantastic Four, are thrown into the universe. So basically, the idea is there's two thoughts. Either they've loaned the rights to the Fantastic Four to Marvel, just like Universal did with the Hulk. So Hulk is in the movies, and it's not a Universal picture; it is a Disney picture. That they could do the same thing with Fantastic Four, because when they did it, it bombed. They don't want to do that again. So they're going, hey, here you go, have fun with your characters again. Technically, we still own the rights, but your movie will make money for you, and who knows what's money's behind the scenes. So anyway, the theory is that Marvel and Disney could make a Fantastic Four film, and that was what would replace the Inhumans in Phase 4. And of course, as you geniusly put it, that's why it would be Phase 4. And
Quote,
I think that's
unquote.
beautiful. I think that's perfect. I would love if the X-Men got in there somehow. But at the same time, I think Fantastic Four, not only the Fantastic Four, but their villains are some of the best. You have Silver Surfer, which was a villain at some point in time. You have Doom, which could be the thing that's bigger than, and Galactus, the thing that's bigger than Thanos. You have these like world-ending things, and that's what Marvel desperately needs right now. Their best villains are weird ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, the Purple Man and stuff. Like that's some of their best ones, and it's so weird. They really need like a world-ending type villain, and X-Men have that with Apocalypse and Magneto and stuff like that. They have some really cool villains. I would love if that happened. Sorry, I've been talking too long. Go. What do you think?
No, you're all right. You're all right. No, I don't the X-Men is making money for Fox, and that's why they're not going to go anywhere. The thing that really drove Sony to even consider the deal that they ended up making was that Amazing Spider-Man 2 tanked. It made everybody's like, it made 100 and some. Yeah, it didn't make the money it needed to. The critical reception was just hardcore, and so it, like, Sony had all these plans in the works. They were going to do an Aunt May movie and a Spider-Woman movie and a Sinister Six. Like, they had these huge plans, and now they were watching that all come crashing down.
Well, no, I still think, for example, in this theory, I still think Fox would absolutely do X-Men films. The only difference is now they could just acknowledge each other in their universes. Maybe Wolverine showed up in an Avengers film. Maybe Tony Stark showed up in an X-Men film. I don't think that Marvel would do a X-Men film. I think it would just, they would acknowledge each other. I think Marvel would do a Fantastic Four film, but I think that Fox would still be doing their big X-Men franchise. They would just acknowledge each other. Like, who knows? All they have to do is say, all that has to happen is Wanda go, let there be mutants, or something crazy like that, and bam, suddenly the universes have merged. You explain it away, bam, everyone's happy. That's what I was thinking. Is it not that Marvel was going to actually do Fox's films, because of course those make bank for them. I think they do those until the end of times. But that's what I was thinking. I don't think they'd ever go back to Disney for Disney to actually make X-Men films. I just thought they would share. If that makes sense.
And I could kind of see that, but I don't know. That's plausible. But what I think it was is that Fox got the rights, got the TV rights to X-Men, and they were saying, hey, look, we've got this toxic thing sitting over here called the Fantastic Four that we cannot. Yeah, I know that we cannot do anything with. It's too much of a stretch. We wish we could make it invisible or just flame out. But what's going to happen is we have this thing here that we just cannot do anything with. They've tried 3 times because nobody wants to count the Roger Corman film, especially Roger Corman. And so they were like, look, here, we'll trade you, and this can go away, and we'll be done with it, because Marvel will take that and make the Fantastic Four movie we want. They absolutely will, and that's what I think happened, and I think that's why, because we'll talk about this a little later. There is no, like, Marvel skipped Comic-Con last year, skipped SDCC because they had the D23 Expo that was
Right.
in what, like August, I think.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't one of those this year, so they're
Right.
gonna have to go to Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
Conversely, Fox is skipping Comic-Con this year.
Oh wow.
They're not going. They're saying
That's right.
they're saying it's because too many people take cell phone video of all the footage they show and everything,
Oh, dude,
which is,
can we, you want to talk about that?
it's a cop out. It's
How
such a,
stupid is that?
I mean,
How
look, it's a valid point because
No,
it
why
does.
did Deadpool make as much money as it did?
Ah,
Because a video was leaked out.
I, yes, but I don't know.
That movie would have never been made unless they leaked that footage out and it got as much people behind it. Ryan Reynolds has said that many of times on
And
camera, that the reason it was made was because of the fans, because of their reactions, because of them storming Fox and saying, "You better make this because this is what we want." And it would have never been rated R. It would have never happened.
right, and I do completely agree with that, but there's a difference behind who pulls the trigger. It's one thing for Fox to go to Comic-Con with teaser footage of projects that they are working on and saying this is exclusively for this audience. And then somebody at Fox, under whoever's orders, because this was not a leak. This was not somebody fed up with something. This was planned because this is a project that they were like, "Hey, we did this test footage, but we don't really know what to do with it. We don't even know if we want to make it." So they quote unquote leaked the footage to gauge crowd response. That's what I believe happened. That's my Deadpool conspiracy theory. And
Right.
and there's a difference there.
See, I don't buy it because for them to come out there to Comic Con, show this trailer, I get it. You want the people there to stand in line for hours to feel like they're getting something that they would not get if they were just relaxing at their house. Don't show the trailer to anyone else until, I don't know, Monday or the next week.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense why they would not want free advertising, because that's what this is. That's all this is. All Comic Con is, it's not free, actually. They're paying for it. That's where I think the real reason why they're not doing this is because it costs a lot of money to rent out those halls, to do all of this show, to fly out all the actors, to have the whole 9 yards. That is thousands of dollars that they don't have to do. They can just release a trailer on YouTube and get people excited. That's where I honestly think, that's why I think they're just not doing it. That's why they're like, we don't have to do this,
Then,
because
then,
free advertising. Why would you throw that away? Why would you go, we don't need that?
then why not come out and say that? Why not say it's cost prohibitive? We're sorry, but that's the nature of business. Instead of coming out with this ridiculously lame ass excuse, like, this is worse.
Yeah, it is. It's blaming
This
the
is worse.
fans. Well, how dare you get so excited about something we're providing you?
Right. It's
Come on.
and yes, it's a valid point, but
No,
it's
this
just,
isn't stealing a movie. This is a trailer.
well, but it's look, the Batman vs Superman teaser was never made publicly available. Like, that's my whole point. Is like, they're saying, look, this is Comic-Con exclusive, and they see it as stealing. Now, is it valid? Yes. Is it an insane stretch? Yes.
It's not stealing.
Is
I
this
I don't think it's stealing.
is this a crazed overreaction to this? Yes.
Absolutely. It's this isn't someone going online and taking your movie and selling it or something like that. This is a trailer that you release to people at Comic-Con and Hall H that should be released a week later for the rest of everybody else, so people
Right.
can talk about it. But hey, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See y'all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we're going to get through some movie news here. We got some Wolverine 3 news. Stephen Merchant joins the cast for undisclosed role. So, remind me, Stephen Merchant, just for some reason, I'm blank here.
Co-created the original Office.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I forget who he. I just looked him up. Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. I
Yeah,
wonder
that's
who
gonna
he's like.
that's gonna be very interesting.
Like a toad or something. I don't know. Or maybe one of the Hulklings.
Oh boy.
See, there we go. Fox and Disney. How the hell are they gonna do that movie? Anyway, we'll get back to the track here. Who knows? Maybe that's a tall tale sign of them working together. Anyway, X-Men Apocalypse promotional photo shows Taylor Swift to have a cameo appearance as Dazzler. That's amazing.
I love this news. I'm a fan. I don't care, but I think it's like a great because what happened was Sophie Turner, right, who's playing Jean Grey, tweeted out a photo from like an actual promotion still of her and Cyclops at a record store, which is how you know this takes place in the 80s, and they're holding a Dazzler record. And the caption was what was it? Flashback Friday to when me and Scott went to our favorite record store. And then in parentheses, they said pre-1989, of course, wink.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh my God, okay.
That is perfect.
Like
I love that.
And that's fine, because this is not, it's just like, hey, we needed somebody, we needed a blonde musician to like put on this artwork. They're like, we can pick somebody. I'm like, okay, that'll work. Like, this isn't a central dramatic point. Like, this is exactly the kind of, if you're gonna do cameos like this is what they should be.
Exactly, and you couldn't pick anyone more popular than Taylor Swift right now. So
Exactly.
that's that. I mean, who knows how many girls and fans of hers are going to go see this that might not have before. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, this is the kind of thing. This doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't hurt at all. You could have a Taylor Swift fan who's like, I like X-Men, it's whatever, but oh my God, Taylor Swift's going to be in it. I'm in.
Yeah.
That's might get that one fan that's just not into it, but a Taylor Swift fan. And I'm sure there's a ton of crossover, but there might not be. So that's awesome. Some Tomb Raider news. Alicia, how do you pronounce the last name?
Vikander.
To star in the upcoming reboot. They picked their star.
Yeah, she edged out Daisy Ridley.
Right, and she's from Ex Machina, right?
Ex Machina. Yeah, that was her.
Yep. Oh, cool, awesome. She was great, so I'm totally in.
So that'll be good.
Yeah, go ahead and take the next one here.
Catherine Winnick from Vikings has joined the cast of The Dark Tower.
Oh, nice.
We don't know who, but this is news. So
yeah, yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's a show I need to catch up on. Watership Down children's book is getting a miniseries adaptation for the Netflix and BBC. Cast members include James McAvoy, John Boyega, Nicholas Hoult, and Ben Kingsley. Oh, talk about a lineup!
Right? Like that's massive right there.
Yeah. So this is gonna get this is gonna be a Netflix series?
Yeah, it's gonna be. They're calling it a mini series, so it's probably like 3-4 episodes.
So I imagine it's animated, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, children's. Oh, okay. So it stars like a bunch of rabbits and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Remember, the thing was horrifying.
I haven't seen. It looks familiar, but
yeah, it's one of the. Oh man, like that's. I don't know what kind of punch it packs, like if you've never seen it before you're an adult, but you watch that as a kid and it's traumatizing.
Oh my God. What is it doing to? Oh my God, that's horrifying. Why would they animate that?
See?
That is bad. Okay. All right. Moving on.
Now that we've completely killed the mood here.
Yeah, Shinobi, classic Sega Ninja game. Getting movie adaptation from producer Mark Platt from Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, he did. He was on Scott Pilgrim and Wanted.
Yeah, man, we're getting that video game train going.
I'm telling you, like it's rolling. And if Warcraft tanks, there's going to be a lot of pissed off studios with a lot of projects that are going to be on indefinite hold.
Man, I'm worried. I have hopes for that in Assassin's Creed, though. I think this year they're not going to be the best. To me, those movies are going to be just enough to make it go, okay, we got something here. Just like the old superhero movies were. Not all of them are going to be Spider-Man out the gate.
Well, but I don't know if we have. Here's the thing: they also didn't cost that much either.
Spider-Man costs a lot of money.
Well, but I mean, that's what I mean. Up until that point, like even X-Men was not terribly expensive, all things considered.
That's true. And see, I think that's what I think these were going to be. These are going to be more more along the lines of X-Men,
Yeah.
and not Spider-Man.
Because Warcraft is going to cost some major coin.
That's true. Oh my
That's
God.
this
I
is
can't
what I
wait for that
mean.
movie.
I don't there's no build up anymore. This goes back to what we were talking about. Like they don't it's like, okay, we're gonna go all in on this, and instead of like this is the kind of counterintuitive nature of this, where they're like, this is a big thing, we have to go big on this, where instead it could just be like, hey, you could tell a completely adequate story to establish this as a franchise by spending half as much.
Right. Now,
Um,
I don't watch much TV because I'm pretty much all digital. Is there a lot of Warcraft trailers out on television right now?
I've seen a bunch. Yeah,
Okay.
the
All right.
the promotion is heavy for sure.
My fear is that this is going to be made more for the fans and not for a general audience. Even though when I started seeing some behind the scenes stuff, and they show the first inn in Goldshire, and you see the exact seats in the exact places in that fucking video game, and you see the cellar, and you see the cat sitting on the same fucking stool that he's in the game. Like, I can't tell you how great that felt. The same words written on the walls in that area, all the attention to detail, the wanted sign, for some of the I forget his name, Gold, whatever his name is. My mind's going drawn a blank now. People are screaming at me for forgetting it, but like the first like level 10 bad guy you fight, like it's like, oh, holy shit, they did it. Like, this is gonna be so cool. Oh, it's gonna kick me that I forgot.
And that's how you do fan service. Like,
Yeah.
you can stick faithfully to the material and make a good movie based on the plot and whatnot, but the real Easter eggs should not be, like, fan service should not be a driving plot point. It should be in exactly those kinds of details.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And oh my God, I cannot wait. It's just, oh man, I don't know. Hogger, that's it. Hogger, that's his name. That was gonna bother me. His name's Hogger. They have a wanted Hogger sign at Gold Mine. Oh my God, I can't wait. That movie, I'm gonna be in fucking tears in that movie. But I hope that it's for everyone else too. That's the thing. I want everybody to be like, hey, I heard that movie was great, and I don't even know anything about it. That's what I hope that it is, and it's not too confusing. Because holy shit, that universe is so massive.
Yeah.
It's ripe for storytelling, but it's also could be done completely wrong if they open it like they did with Dune or something.
Right.
Like it could be bad. But I hope not. I hope it's a lot of action, it's a lot of story, and you get interested in the characters. One of the major things that I think might have a problem with is all the CGI. When I see those trailers, I'm just like, oh my God, like, can I get a real, in the behind the scenes it looks great because you're like, that's a real chair, that's a real whatever. But in the trailer, I'm like, it's just wall to wall CGI, and that kind of, worries me. But anyway, we got Space Jam 2. Justin Lin tapped to direct and co-write sequel to Looney Tunes film. No, I did read that LeBron James is officially cast in it. Is that correct?
He has been and has not been for like the last 5 years.
Well, I thought I read this week that he was officially in it, or is that's not the case?
That's the part of this I take with a grain of salt.
Okay.
Because that's been the one thing that's like, yeah, and it'll be LeBron James, and then the next day there's a thing that says, actually it's not confirmed, but like, so, I don't know.
Right.
Probably if they were gonna pick somebody, it would probably be LeBron.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do Steve Curry, right, or Stephen Curry. I don't even know his name.
Well, but I mean,
here's
here's the thing. By the time this eventually gets made, LeBron will have retired and taken up golf. So it'll fit the same thing,
That's true. Okay, we got Lionsgate Company brings over 100 films to stream for streaming rental. Now it's on Steam, right?
To Steam, yeah. That's interesting.
That's odd,
right? But
what a weird place. But okay, is it free?
No. They're
Okay.
streaming rental prices. But
okay.
it's a platform they saw they could use, and they worked out a deal to use it.
Yeah, maybe this is like, you can watch it in your VR headset or something like that. I don't know.
This makes sense from a business standpoint of like, hey, here's an outlet that a lot of people use that maybe the business relationship with Valve is better or easier than something like some of these other, like any other streaming thing,
Right,
basically.
maybe.
Like, I mean, everything from Voodoo to whatever, because there's so many. There's like 12,000 of them out there now.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Um, we got a new Puppet Master news. You take this.
This was bizarre to me because this is one S. Craig Zahler from Bone Tomahawk is writing the script for a reboot to Puppet Master that's being produced by De Bonaventura Pictures, which are the people who produce Transformers. So you already know this is going to suck, and I don't want anything to do with it.
Right. I haven't. I mean, I think I've seen Puppet Master before. It's a horror film, right?
Right. It's about crazy puppets.
Yeah.
I'll just as soon wait for the Night of the Living Dummy spin-off from Goosebumps. That's...
Pretty much. Oh, okay. I'm looking at the pictures now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember these guys.
But I mean, just I was like, hey, they're doing a new Puppet Master. That could be kind of neat. Oh, that's a production kit. Never mind.
Yeah.
Like the puppets are all gonna like turn into things. Just I don't care. And then explode at the end.
Right. Yeah, I remember this from back in the day, back when like Chucky and all that was big. But anyway, we are gonna take a break. We'll get back. We'll get you some TV news, some video game news. Then we'll tuck you into bed. But we'll see you guys in a minute. Can you listen to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM? See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we got some TV news to talk about. Right at the top of the list, we got Punisher is going to get his own series. He's going to get his own series on Netflix, of course, with Steve Lightfoot, Hannibal as the showrunner.
Yeah, this was a foregone conclusion. Really.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody, like, they tried to play it down, like, well, let's not put the cart before the horse here. They were like, no, we're putting the wheels before the cart before the horse. Like, this has to happen.
Right. I'm hoping that it's not just the Punisher, because I don't know if I can do 13 episodes of dark, brooding Punisher. I think he works well with others. Like, he worked well with the Punisher. Like, there's some scenes that are just, you need that something for him to bounce off of. I just hope it's not 13 episodes of him killing. He needs to have some growth, and that's the problem with the Punisher that I think they might run against. His character doesn't really grow. He just kind of he's just a force of nature.
But you can get some interesting arcs, especially when you look at Punisher Max. Like, there's some really interesting story arcs there.
See, okay, maybe I guess the only stuff I've read of his, there's no growth. He's always just the same Frank Castle. So who knows? I guess you're right. There's probably the stories that I read are weird, like the Franken-Castle one, which they're not gonna do.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd make a nice like nightmare sequence in an episode, though.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'm excited. The talent behind it, of course. We trust Netflix at this point. Just throw it at us. We will take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like they've got it.
Yeah, until you make a mistake, until we're like, nope, this is wrong, this is weird, this is boring, this is gross, but that hasn't happened yet. Like with any series, you have your ups and downs, and these have had their ups and downs, but most of the time they're up. So, hell yeah, awesome. Some more good news is Carl Urban basically gave us an update saying that conversations are happening regarding Dread and the series or sequel at Netflix or Hulu. So that's good news.
Yeah. Well, again, it's another thing where somebody did some fan art and Carl retweeted it like, hell yeah, Netflix, Hulu, let's make this thing happen. Yeah. And these companies, which are not stupid, saw like this became a trending topic on Facebook, which takes a lot more than you might think. We've tried. It doesn't work quite so well for us. But yeah. You've got to have a lot of kick to get up there. And so they saw this and they were like, huh, there's a lot of interest in this. Yeah. Maybe we should pursue this somehow. Now, maybe nothing comes of it, but this is a thing that's now suddenly these. I mean, look at what Netflix and Hulu have turned into.
Yeah.
Especially Netflix. I mean, Hulu does their stuff, and that's cool, but Netflix is still king when it comes to creating content.
Yes.
I mean, exactly. Hulu is great for streaming everything next day and whatnot. Like, that's their thing, and they do their own creative stuff. but it's not like Netflix is its own network now, and they
Right.
are just knocking it clear out of the park.
They really are. They're doing great. Yeah, like you said, Hulu's great for kind of next day stuff, and they have their own great creative stuff like the James Franco series, and that there's that other one I want to watch. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming out of Hulu. This is perfect.
Yeah,
This is
they are.
awesome. Do
I
it.
keep forgetting like they are starting to roll with those. What was yeah, the Stephen King one, and then was it the Path, right?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
see that. I want to check that out.
that
So
that looks good.
yeah. Hulu's been doing some great stuff, and yes, absolutely. There was a time where I was like, Hulu or Netflix. Ugh, why would this is gonna bomb? And I'm now it's complete opposite. It's like if I hear it's on Fox or CBS, I'm like, oy vey, like come on, that's
Right.
gonna bomb. 24 episodes. How is that gonna work? So it's weird, but yeah, that's awesome.
Are we gonna go from Netflix and chill to Hulu and snoo snoo?
Right, exactly.
And shout
Yep.
out to however many people got that weird joke.
Yep.
It's the only thing I take away from that show. It's like one of like 4 episodes I've ever watched.
Yeah. Um, but but we got some more news. We got some Wet Hot American Summer news. They're gonna do a sequel to the series, and it's gonna be set 10 years later, which makes sense. And gets about 8 episodes ordered from Netflix, so that's perfect.
There you go.
Yep.
Like I think like I watched half the movie, and I don't
That's
know.
it.
Yeah, and I don't remember why. It doesn't stand out as like it was awful. I was just like I think
Did
it
you
was
make
one.
it to the scene where they go to town?
Uh
That
I
is the best scene, and one thing turns into another where they steal something, and then they get drunk, and then they get high, and then they're shooting up heroin, and there's like an abortion, like and then like all hell's breaking loose. They're addicted to heroin, and then suddenly they're back on a truck, and suddenly they're back to camp, and they're like, God, you've been gone like an hour.
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I missed that part.
That was my favorite part. I'm like, what? That's just where it goes off the rails wacky. Like at that point, they're like, if you're still here, here you go, because this is just wacky crazy. And that's what the series is like. The series is basically like that one scene. Um, and have you seen any of the series?
No, uh-uh.
Oh my god! And that's what's great about the series is there's so many call outs to that one movie because they do a whole series and it's right before that movie and you see some of the characters just completely change into the characters that you see in that movie. Um, like the for example the chef guy.
Okay.
He's completely different at the beginning of the show, and then he goes full on into that chef guy by the end of it. And there's a ton of cameos. There's like, God, I can't tell you how many cameos are in the TV show because they were just like, how many funny people can we get in this thing? Like,
Nice.
let's just chock full of people. Um, I would revisit that if I were you. I guess
Okay.
if you tried half the movie you didn't like it, but suffer through the rest and give a few episodes a try. And I know that's a lot to say, but oh
Fair
man.
enough. It can't be like The Ranch where they make a what's a Netflix joke.
Oh no, see,
In
I haven't seen that. I don't know.
there's oh my god, they're like what's Netflix? I'm like you guys made a what's Netflix joke on a show produced by Netflix. Either that's a massive brass set you've got, or like you guys got really drunk and said what's a stupid joke we could put here. Like
Yeah, Ashton Kutcher. And when I saw that, I was
yeah.
like, no, I'm good.
I mean, like that joke worked when they did it on Supernatural. Like that was funny,
Yeah.
but that's a whole other. That's
Is Ashton Kutcher married to Mina Kunis?
did they get married?
Don't they have a kid?
Well, you don't have to be married for that.
That's true. That's true. They have a kid, right? They're
Right.
together, right?
I think they did get married.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they did. It's just I don't keep up with this because it's like
I
the
don't
weather. Wait 5 years, it'll change.
Right, but they were together in the '70s show, and I just think that's cool.
Right.
I just think that's so childish and stupid of me to say that, but I think that's cool. So anyway, back on track. Go ahead, take the next one here.
Yeah. I didn't know about this because they were like, we're gonna reboot the Blues Brothers, and everybody went, Dan Aykroyd, you go to hell. Um, And they were like, no, it's gonna be good. They were like, you made Blues Brothers 2000. Shut up, we don't trust you.
So is it going to be all female cast?
You know, call the
Girl,
Blues
Blue
Brothers.
Sisters?
Like
Blue Sisters.
I don't know, man. But they decided, okay, we're not gonna go the film route. Instead, we're gonna make it an animated show. And I thought, well, now hang on. This could work. This is just crazy enough to work.
That's what it sounds like.
Like this is something that you would think, and we're gonna make a Blues Brothers cartoon, and everybody would go, why? Why would you do this? They made a Jay and Silent Bob cartoon, and it was like almost good, but you run out of material with something like this so fast.
Who is your audience for this?
That's
An
the
animated
other thing.
Blue Brothers.
Like I don't know. I mean,
You're not gonna get the same crowd that was into the Blues Brothers, because guess what? They're old.
Right.
They're old. They're not watching cartoons, or animated movies or whatever. They're not watching any of that. Us maybe, but like not Blues Brothers. That's
No.
not. To me, that shouldn't be animated. If you're gonna do an animated show about something, I don't know. That's not where I would go down the path.
Yeah.
If you said you had like a sequel movie on Netflix, okay.
Yeah, like that would work. That would be fine, but I mean, like, we're gonna do a primetime animated series, and like it's Aykroyd and Judy Belushi and one of the other writers from SNL, whose name escapes me for the moment, and Beats. And I was like,
See, I could see like a Big Lebowski animated show.
Sure.
I don't know, that to me, I don't know, but this is odd.
Yeah, I don't know about this.
Maybe it's on Netflix or something, I guess.
Well, they're talking prime time. Like, I think they want this to go network.
Well, like Cartoon Network. What are we talking about prime time?
I would think like Fox. Or something along those lines.
Okay, yeah, I guess Fox. Yeah. Maybe after The Simpsons or something. Maybe after. See, I've never seen Bob's Burgers. That's where I really dropped off of Fox cartoons.
Yeah.
That completely dropped off of their animation was Bob's Burgers. That was it. That's when I heard that was coming out. It had nothing to do with it, but I just remember seeing that on commercials, and that's when I tuned out of Fox animated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. What is this match game news? Classic game show being revived by ABC to be hosted by Alec Baldwin. Match game?
You've never heard of Match Game?
No, never heard of it.
Tell me you have Game Show Network. No, you don't have TV.
No, I do.
You do.
Well, I don't watch it, but yes, we do have it.
All right. Match Game was this was a 70s game show, and it was kind of like, it was almost a prototype of Hollywood Squares in a bizarre way, that it also ran kind of alongside Hollywood Squares at the same time.
Okay.
You'd have 6 celebrities, and it was like, this is kind of stretching the term a little. Mm-hmm. But whoever the host was, back then it was Gene Rayburn. And you would read, like, here's a phrase, and you have to fill in the blank. But, like, back when it started, it would be, like, a simple thing, like root blank. And you would say beer, and you'd have to match the celebrities, and the ones that picked the same thing you did, you get a point. And there would be 2 of you. And whoever matched the most won. Very simple, very straightforward. But they made it funny. So there was always, like, a little story, and you kind of went the comedic route and everything. And it ran for years. And it's on Game Show Network all the time, and it's really funny. But, like, so I understand why they're bringing it back, because when they did bring back Hollywood Squares, it actually did okay for a few years. And then everybody that was on it decided that they'd rather have a career. And so that fell apart.
It kind of sounds like that card game that became really popular. What's the one you can only buy on Amazon? Or it's like the deck of cards.
Cards Against Humanity?
Cards Against Humanity. Is it kind of like that, but the TV show?
There's a similarity. Okay. In a sense, yeah.
Because I could see that being really, really big.
Right, and I think that's kind of why they're bringing back Match Game. It is kind of similar to that. Go watch. You could probably find some on YouTube. Like,
yeah, see, it's called Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour, because it was like in a block.
Well, they did that later.
That came
later.
Gotcha.
But like this was a thing. Why Alec Baldwin is hosting it is what I don't understand.
Why
Did
not?
he? I don't know. Did he leave? Did he hear this was being done and he really wanted it, so he left a bunch of angry voicemails until he got it? Like I don't. Like that
Probably.
makes no sense. Like this is something that a comic should be doing.
Right.
This is something that you would want. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, but I mean, you know, I would. Gabriel Iglesias would be a better fit than Alec Baldwin is.
Yeah.
It's something like that. Get John Mulaney to do it. He's funny. He's adorable. Get him. That's. It's just I don't understand Alec Baldwin hosting it. Like Alec Baldwin game show host is not a sentence I really ever want to hear. Like it's really not.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know, but so yeah, that's gonna be a thing because the end times is a coming.
Yeah. Well, we got some more news for you. Let's actually hop into some video game news. Nintendo NX announced its release is going to be March 2017. The new Zelda game is postponed to March 2017. Will launch with both the Wii U and the NX. Now, I believe it will officially be the last game for the Wii U, right?
But more than likely, yeah.
I think I read that. So, I mean, we all kind of saw this coming. We well, actually, let's say this. We all thought it was going to be the end of this year. But I read the president of Nintendo actually came out and he was like, you know, it didn't make sense for us to rush it for the end of the year. This is what they said. They wanted to have more games for a lineup. They'd rather it be ready than rushed, which hats off to you. It's going to be weird though because you would think Nintendo you'd want to get ahead of Christmas because most of the people getting Nintendo are kids, and I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, that's when I got a video game system. That's it. It wasn't like in the middle of, you know, what was this, like March? No, my parents would not go, hey, it's March and the Nintendo's out, I'm going to get it for you. No, it was like, okay, we'll wait till Christmas, maybe your birthday.
Exactly. Yeah, birthday, like that was how it was like Christmas was systems, birthdays were games.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Yeah. And I maybe got a few games during Christmas, and then my birthday I got one, and that was it. That for the whole year, that's all I had.
Yeah.
Unless I borrowed a game or unless I like figured out a way to make money appear, you know, by I guess working for my grandma or something like that. But or just being a cute kid and begging. No, I'm just kidding. But that's it's weird. As an adult, I'm happy they're postponed. They're release it when it's ready. But I'm also curious how that's going to play out for them in the long run. Now, I guess it has something to do with they're strategically placing it wherever the quarter is, so it does good or something. I don't know.
Right.
But apparently, the exact date they're doing it, if it's pushed back any more, it could be trouble, I guess, for whatever their earnings or I don't know, something to do on that end. It has something to do with that. So I don't know. What do you think, man? I know probably you're going to be picking this up, right?
I will let the price drop. Like I went and because I got burned, man. I got a Wii U when it launched, and there've been like 3 games for it. Yeah. And I'm pissed.
And see, that's why I think I'm more inclined of going, hey, I skipped the Wii U. I'm ready to see what you got next.
Well, and here's the thing, because I skipped the Wii.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
what?
I never had a Wii. I never had a Wii. I had a GameCube, and then the Wii came out, and I was like, oh, I'll get that at some point. And then, PlayStation 3 happened.
Right,
and so, I mean, that was that. And I had a 360 for a while, and then it died, and then much later down the line, I was like, well, I can get a 360 fairly cheap now because they make a Star Wars edition.
Right.
And then trade in Kinect Star Wars because that was worthless. Mm-hmm. But like that was like I skipped the Wii entirely. And I don't feel bad about it, but like so that was why I was like, oh, so then I can get a Wii U. Mm-hmm. And my whole big thing was that is backwards compatible. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, so I can get like bargain Wii games and everything, and I can still do that. I just have to get a decent Wii controller setup. I don't have a remote or a nunchuck.
Oh wow, yeah.
And that never materialized. It was always a thing like, oh, I need to do this, and then like it never happened.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna wait on the NX because the Wii U was like, what they came out, they had guns blazing, like they were gonna have, they had, you know, new Mario, and they were talking Star Fox, which it took until the end of the console's life cycle to get. But and then, you know, Zombie U, and I was like, oh, that looks cool, and it was. And I haven't played it. Like it's free, or it was really cheap, or no, it was free for April for PS Plus, I think.
Hmm.
And I downloaded it. I haven't played it on PS4, so I don't know how well it transitioned.
Right.
But I was like, yo, this is pretty cool. And then, you know, eventually Smash came out, and that was kind of it.
Yep. Oh, that was totally it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when I was like, okay, they've got some games that are out, but then when there's literally nothing out for the rest of the year. There's a few games. Pokemon's really the only thing coming out, I think, on the 3DS that's worth any merit. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that, of course. But that's the other thing. The 3DS, that's the other side of the coin. There's nothing coming out for that either. So it's like both of these systems, Nintendo going into the end of the year, it's they've completely abandoned these two systems. They really have. And I think it's because NX is coming in. So hopefully with the NX, they come out of the gate with a lot of games, a lot of third-party support. And here's the thing, apparently, they're not going to talk about it or show it at E3.
which I understand on the grounds of it's not ready this year, but here's the thing, it's coming out, well, and let me say this two ways. I would think normally, hey, you've got a console coming out before the next E3, you need to
Yep.
talk about it here, but
Yep.
Nintendo hasn't actually done E3 for a long time now.
Exactly.
They
I don't care if you're not going to show it to people on the floor. Show us the thing. At least explain what you're doing and say, here's the plan. Here's what it's going to be. Here's the dream that we had, and here's some demos on it or whatever. Don't have to be on the show floor, but give
well,
us a look at what your idea. I'm tired of looking at,
well, and I think Nintendo's going to do that at their pre E3 Nintendo Direct, or post E3, whenever it is that they do them. I
I
forget.
hope so. Yeah, apparently all they're going to have this year, literally, it's going, and they have apparently a huge floor presence. All they're going to have, they said, to show is Zelda. So you're
Yeah.
going to get a lot of Zelda. So hopefully you like Zelda. But I really think that a lot of people feel burned. They feel like, well, that's not going to sell on the Wii U. Who's going to buy that on the Wii U?
No,
It's coming out on the NX.
I don't know. Did Twilight Princess do that well, GameCube and Wii wise?
I can't
Because
imagine. I mean, it's going to be day and day release with both of them.
right, I mean
Oh.
that was the same thing that it was Twilight Princess, right? That was like, hey,
Yeah.
it's coming out on the Wii, on the brand new Wii. Oh, and it's also going to be on the GameCube.
Yeah. No, yeah, I didn't have a GameCube, but I think you're absolutely right. I don't know. That's gonna be interesting. I imagine everyone right now who has a Wii U is probably selling their system. They're probably like, hey, well, that new, I don't have a PlayStation, so I might as well go get that Neo or VR or something. Like, I imagine that a lot of people are going, how can I make money out of this system right now? Because the next thing's coming out in a few months,
Yeah, I mean,
a year from now.
mine's just sitting over there gathering dust. I mean,
Yeah.
I have played nothing on it since Smash.
And if I was you, I would go get as much money as you could right now out of it before it becomes worthless. Because I, I don't know. It just, to me, that's something I would try to get a profit off of it now.
Well, and
Trade it in and put it down towards your
yeah, but
your VR.
here's my other line of thinking on that though, is how backwards compatible is the NX going to be?
That's I could totally
Yeah.
understand why waiting for that, because guess what, if it's completely backwards compatible, which Nintendo's really great at,
Yeah. Then this thing
bye.
is then this thing's going back in the box and it's going to GameStop. No.
But then again, what does that mean? Does that mean that with this NX, you have to now buy the nunchuck controllers to play the old? Oh my god, I'm
Yeah.
so tired of the accessories with Nintendo.
Right. That's the only reason I would hang on to my Wii U, because we had a big library, and
Yeah.
the Wii had a good library. So
Yeah.
I would hang on to that just because eventually one day I would, you know, like there's a game store in Hickory that I haven't been to yet, that I am gonna get to, that still does old games. I'm
Okay.
talking Game Boy, Genesis, like that. I mean, like
Nice.
the games you would want to kind of look for if you still had it.
Right.
But at some point, like that's where the Wii games are gonna be, and it's
Hmm.
gonna be like, hey, you can get like 70 Wii U games or 70 Wii games for like $20,
Right.
and I'm like, sold. I could do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could totally understand why you'd want to do that. I guess that's why I still have my PlayStation 3. Hell, I take that back, I guess, because I would not be playing and enjoying Ni no Kuni right now. I would be playing Kingdom Hearts, because for some reason they won't put HD on PS4, and those are some gems that if you still don't have your PlayStation 3, you'll probably never play unless they remaster it,
Right? Or
and
they
it's a
could.
shame.
Well, now hang on. Are they on PlayStation now?
No, no, neither one, neither
Really?
series.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we, I don't know why Square Enix does not put that out on PlayStation 4. It makes no sense. And Ni no Kuni is freaking amazing. Like, I can't tell you how great it is. Like, like I'm having a ball with it. The way it looks like you're playing an anime, a beautiful anime. We talked about it off air. What's the studio that does
Studio Ghibli. Yeah, they
it's
did all
Studio
the Miyazaki films.
Yeah, yeah, they partnered up to make this game, and I believe it's level 5. So they have some great JRPGs, and it's charming. It charms the pants out of me when I'm playing it, and even though it's very it's very geared towards kids and whatnot, but it's charming as shit. Like you're playing it and you're like, oh my god, this is amazing, then you get into the JRP aspects of the battle system and whatnot, and you're like, this I could totally see old school Final Fantasy fans probably obsessed over this, and I feel like I'm like just now hearing about it, and I feel like they probably already know way, like anyone listening who is into that kind of world of gaming is like, yes, we've known about this for a while, thank you for finally figuring it out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, and it's a shame that I own a PlayStation 4. Why can't you just say, hey, play it for, here's give us your $20 that you spent on getting it on the 3, and play it on the 4. Like I had to go and dust it off, and it's my PlayStation 3 is I'm probably going to sell it soon, because those are the only two reasons I'm playing it now. I haven't played it in years since I've gotten the 4.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, anyway, let's get into some more video game news. They had some PlayStation free games this month. Was revealed Tropico 5 for the PS4, Tabletop Racing World Tour for PlayStation 4, Bionic Commando
Rearmed. Yeah, there
Rearmed.
should have been a dash there.
Yeah, no problem. 2 for the PlayStation 3, Loco Roco what?
Go ahead. I want to see you try this. Sound it out.
You go ahead. Carico?
Loco Cocorico.
There we go for the PlayStation 3. Is that the story? I think I've seen this before. Isn't it about like? No. Okay, that's not what I was thinking.
Are you confusing this with Guacamelee?
No, no.
Okay.
And I also got Severed for the Vita, which is the same people who did Guacamelee.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's like a first-person dungeon crawler that looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Switch Galaxy Ultra for the Vita, God of War Ghost of Sparta for the Vita. Oh, I gotta download that because I have like the I have the collection, but I don't have that one.
There you go. Now it's free. There you go.
That's free. Awesome. The Xbox One games with gold. We got Defense Grid 2 for May 1st through 31st. Costume Quest for May 16th through June 15th. Grid 2 May 1st through the 15th, and Peggle for May 16th through 31st.
Okay. Now, Grid 2 and Peggle are 360 games that
360.
are newly backwards compatible.
Yep.
Costume Quest 2 was either really on sale or already free for Plus months ago.
Yeah.
I'll give Tropico 5 a try because it's free.
Yes.
Just because I know you're way more excited about this than I am.
Oh yeah, I love those kind of games, man. There was a time where nothing better was to just shut my brain off and play SimCity,
There you go.
and sit there and build a town and do this and just meticulously go after this and that. Oh, I got to build this and I got to do that and I got to build this up, and oh no, someone's getting robbed, and you got to. Tropico 5 is, I guess, like that, but like on an island, and you're a dictator, and like it just seems so cool. Everyone that I know that has played it and given it a chance love it.
Nice. Okay.
And so I'm totally down to try that out, because I just hear it's a ton of fun. It's like you're a dictator and you can be a dick. You can you can straight up be crazy, and you build your own island, and you're basically Castro. I guess that's what it looks like on all the posters.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the racing stuff. Grid 2 I had on PS3, and I came this close to platinuming it. It was so close. I almost platinumed the racing game. I was so excited.
Yeah, I've never played it before.
Oh, it's good. It's Codemasters, and they did the Dirt games as well, and Rally is out, and I want to play that too at some point in the near future, as soon as I get it from GameFly. But they make solid racing games. Yeah, Grid 2 is good.
Sweet. Well, we got to take a break. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we got some more news for you. Some big one. Call of Duty. The next installment, Infinite Warfare, gets trailer and release date for November 4th. Collector's Edition is to come with the remastered Modern Warfare game.
Yeah, the $80 Collector's Edition will get you a remaster of what was arguably one of the best, if not the best, Call of Duty game.
Right. Would you say Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare 2 was the best of those?
I don't know. It's kind of it's one of those things where like Modern Warfare completely revitalized the franchise.
It did.
That was where they kicked off. That was where it really hit its stride.
I agree.
But Modern Warfare 2 was the one that had all the big press, and it had all the big, that was the first one where the reveal was huge.
Right.
That was what I remember. Like that was unprecedented. For something like that.
I think I enjoyed 2 more. That was the one where I played the most for the multiplayer and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think any old school fan is going to absolutely spend the extra cash and get.
Any Call of Duty fan.
Right. Yeah, I should say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're, pinching a penny, you'll get the regular edition. But I mean, why wouldn't you spend the extra money to get a completely new game, not new game, but a completely different, an extra game that you loved, completely remastered with multiplayer maps?
Yeah, they get 10 of the old school maps.
Yeah, come on, that's a no-brainer. If you're in Call of Duty, yeah, you got to do it. So, and it looks awesome, dude. Like the Mr. Tom, oh my God! What was the song in it?
Major Tom.
Major Tom, not Mr. Tom. Jesus Christ!
Well, because it's in space. Like they've been rumored to do space since Modern Warfare 2.
The second they did that, because I'm like, okay, let's see what it's like. The last few I've dragged my feet with getting. I got the last one. I played through the single player, a handful of multiplayer maps, and that was it. This one, when I heard this is ground control. When I heard that and I saw them in space, and then not just like a cutscene, like it shows them fighting in space. I'm like, okay, I'm in. I want to know where this goes.
You know who wasn't impressed?
Who?
The team at DICE, who's releasing the Battlefield 5 trailer next week.
See, yeah, I saw. Yeah, I saw they were a little.
They were not like they came down hard on this.
Well, guess what though? At least Call of Duty comes out in one piece. And it works. When Call of Duty is released, you don't hear of any bugs. Fair. You don't hear of any game-breaking stuff. But when Battlefield, oh God, I can't think of the last Battlefield game that came out that wasn't broken.
Bad Company 2, probably.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
I know. Which is why I want Bad Company 3, because I was like, I know nothing about this franchise. I knew nothing of Battlefield. I knew nothing of Bad Company. But one of my friends at the time was like, you got to play Bad Company 2. I was like, I never played it first. It doesn't matter. Just play Bad Company 2.
Right.
I don't know if I've ever played more multiplayer for a game.
Oh, really?
Definitely not for an FPS.
Okay.
Because that was never my thing. I never enjoyed it. But I would play that for hours. And then when I got 3, I was so disappointed. And then 4 and then Hardline, and I was like, just no.
Oh, you got Hardline?
I didn't get Hardline. I rented it.
Okay,
Like
gotcha.
yeah, like I'll rent and play everything.
Right.
That's what I love about GameFly. I'm like, as soon as I don't know what they've got coming next, because I just polished off Hyrule Warriors Legends.
Mm.
The bizarre thing about that, quick side note, you play through it and it looks great and it looks awesome, and then you turn on the 3D and the frame rate plummets.
Yep.
Absolutely plummet. And I've got a new 3DS.
Yeah, I heard that the 3D doesn't even exist in the old 3DS for the game.
Yeah, and
They just can't handle it.
And I can see why. Like the new 3DS can't handle it.
Yeah.
It plummeted. Now, for me, that's not a deal breaker. I don't play these for 3D. I play them for the game. But I can see for people where that could be.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's where we get into that whole Neo thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, man, I'm on board. Call of Duty, those studios put out some stellar games, and if you're into Call of Duty, this looks like more Call of Duty but in space, and I mean that's just awesome. Like I just can't wait.
They showed a massive space battle.
And the thing is, we should have gotten that with Battlefront.
We should have gotten that with Star Wars, man.
Yep,
like, why
yep,
did?
Yep.
And
yeah.
I think that's kind of Activision's way of sticking it to EA a little bit. Like, hey, you guys have 2 franchises that you could have done this with, and we beat you to it.
Right, exactly. So I hope the next Battlefront is in fucking space. Come on, what are you doing over there? Yeah, that's frustrating. But
with a story mode.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Oh my God. So yep. So that's gonna be awesome.
So,
We're gonna be looking forward to
yeah,
that.
This is another one that's like, I'll rent, I'll clear the like I'll get this from Redbox and I'll clear story mode in a night and I'll be like, hey, you know what? I'll say it right now. I'm gonna be like, that was enjoyable, and then I'll take it back because that's the end of Call of Duty games for me. They're not investments for me.
Yeah, totally. No, I think I waited till it was like $23 on a sale, and I was like, okay, that's enough for me to not
fair enough.
feel like I drained it. But yeah, no, I really need to go the route you're doing because $14 a month for GameFly and Redbox is really where it's at. Because sometimes I'll get a game and I'll be like, why did I just do that?
Yeah,
just throwing money away.
GameFly for 2 games out at a time is $25 a month, and it's totally worth it because then you can always kind of have one in cycle. And as long as you've got the game, like if you have space, you don't have any games out right now, but you've got some that are coming up.
Right.
Then as soon as it's kind of like Amazon. They will send it so that you get it on release date.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and that was what I love about it, and that's why I'm trying to clear off my queue as much as I can, so that I can get back to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's absolutely worth it, and then you can always keep it. If there's a game you like, there's an option to keep it, and
cool.
And you'll pay, you do pay for the game. Like it's not like a thing of difference, but it's like you are buying the game, but then they will send you, it's like it's technically a used game, but they send you all the box and materials and everything like it's new.
Okay, so that's cool.
That's always fun. Like I love GameFly for that, and I've had it off and on forever.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that because that's cool. That's a game changer if they send you the actual box and like,
oh yeah,
here you go.
It's not just like, oh, you have the game. Like, no, they've always been like, okay, hang on, we've got to send you everything that comes with it.
Oh, that's really cool.
Oh yeah,
that's really cool. Let's see what else we got here. We got Last of Us 2 announcement, the project and release date rumored for E3.
This is at once surprising and not surprising. Just because I was like, I didn't know they were working on a Last of Us 2, especially given the way that the first one plays out.
Right.
But it was a huge hit, and it's going to have a movie coming out, so this is not a shock.
Well, not too long ago, Nolan North did say that he was actually working on it.
There you go.
So, or that he knew it was happening or something like that. So
that's right. I remember that.
Yeah. So, that's not exciting for me. I want to know what Naughty Dog does after Uncharted because I think Uncharted will continue, but I don't think they'll be the studio that does it. And so I'm really excited to see what their next franchise is, what's coming next out of them, what ideas they have that's not Last of Us, that's not Uncharted. What do you got? That's
Exactly.
what I want to know.
There you go.
Yeah.
New
We got
Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, no, give that to someone else.
No, give it to Naughty Dog. That was their
No.
baby. I want to see Naughty Dog do Crash again. Like
No.
that's
Any
yes.
other studio. It seems to
No.
me Naughty Dog, they have to put that behind them. They are the top of the dog for Sony. I want a new IP. I don't want. Oh God, what a waste if they went and did a Crash platformer. I would be so bored to tears with that.
Boo.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know probably get a lot of hate for that. I want Crash to come back, but don't have them do it. I don't know. That just seems weird.
You can't have two teams at a studio.
They do. They have one. No, they work on one game at a time. I like that.
Nah, boo.
Yeah, no, I like that. I'm all for that. If you're gonna give a platformer, give it to someone else. There's other studios out there. Hell, half of them didn't even put out a game yet. So, but anyway, we got Mighty Number 9. Talk about a game that hasn't come out yet.
Right.
Game finally goes gold. Gets final release date for June 21st.
I will believe it when I am holding it in my hands.
Yep, exactly. And I think they also announced that the Vita game is coming soon. Or not soon, but after that, sometime the Vita and 3DS game will come. And that's the one that I don't think is actually going to happen. What that means usually is no, probably not.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. We got Dishonored 2 news. Bethesda announces November 11th release date for upcoming sequel.
Okay.
And yep, we got some Watch Dogs 2 news. Court King, from the right hand of God, leaks concept art for new lead character in upcoming game. So.
Yeah, he Instagrammed a picture of concept art and was like, "Hey, just got done doing mocap for for the main character in Watch Dogs 2," and then they came down on him like a ton of bricks.
Exactly.
Like his profile went private. They took the post down. I was like, "You idiot!"
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You're excited. This is the first. Like he's done some shorts and everything, and so now he's like, "Hey, this is a big thing. I'm really excited about this." And they're like, "That's great. Now shut the hell up."
Now, here, before we get into some of the reviews and stuff, are there some of these you want to talk about, the extras or like Payback, or what do you want to get into?
Well, let's do we covered some of the the etc. news, and like all of these are just kind of like, hey, we'll talk about these because there's not a tremendous amount of detail to dive into.
Right.
Comcast is buying DreamWorks Animation for almost $4 billion.
Jesus.
But like I said, man, the end times is a coming.
Mm-hmm.
Faulty tech. This news depressed me a lot. The Glen Eagles Hotel, which was the inspiration for Faulty Towers,
right,
which was hysterical and with its own bizarre legacy. They knocked it down over this past week to make room for retirement apartments.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's fine, you know, it's you know, things move on and everything, but you know, it's just sad.
Yeah.
But on the upside, they announced the Tony Award nominations, which I'm sure is a phrase you never expected to hear on this podcast. And the only reason I mention it is that Hamilton was nominated for everything.
Yeah.
If there's a category for musical, it's nominated. 16 nominations.
There's crazy.
There's two, Lynn and Leslie Odom Jr. are both nominated for Best Actor. In an actor in a featured role, 3 of the 5 nominees are from Hamilton.
Wow.
It's insane. It's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
But, you know, cheers to him.
Yeah.
The only thing he hasn't won yet is an Oscar. And if his performance in the Mary Poppins sequel is really, really good, there's a chance.
There you go, man. There you go. Well, we got some time. Do you want to talk about maybe the book real fast, or do you want to talk about Payback? Or
let's do the book, because I'll probably get into we've got 3-ish minutes. So
what did you think of it?
Man, this was weird.
Yeah, I liked it. It was so weird.
It was like really good weird. Like I loved it.
This is where you get into like a Twilight Zone type of stuff.
Totally. That was oh my god, yes.
I did not see this coming. I did not see him like, oh, suddenly he's in New York. Like, spoiler.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's like but it's not really him in New York. It's him in the head of somebody in New York. Like that, oh my god, that was so weird.
Right. It really, to me, it felt like a Twilight Twilight Zone episode where,
Yes.
like those what if things, and it told the story of like, these three different characters and how he kind of like now he has like his team.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And I like that, dude. I might just start picking freaking Dark Tower books.
Well, because they get rolling. Like,
They do.
pun slightly intended.
Yeah.
But there's well, it was because like the first book was all about how he gets on this journey.
Right.
And now the second book is about how his new quartet gets on this journey. And so, like, and that was, I love that you get the pacing plays out the way it should. Like, everything at the end it wasn't rushed, but it was in a rush.
Right.
And there's a huge difference between having a fast pace and having a rushed pace. But that whole bit with him in Jack's body, like everything, like he was just bulldozer full steam ahead.
Yeah.
And it was such
Man on a mission.
Absolutely. And it was so different than the beginning. Like, it was like, oh, I don't know what's going on exactly, so I have to kind of pace this out, and we got to see what's going on, and now we've run out of time. So we got to do, now it's just got to go. That's it.
Right. I love how it all tied together at the end. Because from the beginning, I was like, what does this all have to do with each other?
Right.
And you find out real fast.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I want to do more of that. I loved it so much that we're probably going to have to push the I Love New York for next week. And we'll get to pick one of your books. Before we go to break, what book did you want to pick for this week?
I'm going to pick out a book that came out yesterday. It's a little thing called Star Wars Bloodline came out this week.
Oh, yes.
So we are gonna do that this week. That's gonna be.
Man, that's going on my that will be one I listen to for sure because I love the Star Wars audiobooks.
There you go.
I'm gonna go look for that right now on Audible. And I think I have the free book this month, or you get like one token for $8 a month. Yes, awesome, cool. I'm totally in on that.
Excellent.
Sounds good. All right, we'll be right back. We'll talk about Game of Thrones. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on N.FM. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on N.FM, and let's just jump into some reviews, man. Let's start with Payback.
Yeah, WWE Payback. The event was, I'll put it this way, and it's the way I've seen it everywhere else. The wrestling was good, but there were no real consequences of a lot.
Right.
Like, the status quo remained the same, but the matches were great. The women's title match was fantastic. Mm-hmm. Charlotte Flair and Natalya Neidhart was an old school classic wrestling match.
Yes.
And that was awesome. The show started on a bad note. Enzo Amore from Enzo and Cass, they were up against the Vaudevillains. Winner was the number one contender for the tag team titles.
Right.
Enzo was getting tossed through the ropes, under the ropes. I'm not sure exactly what spot they were going for. Hit his head on the middle rope, which caused it to snap hard down onto the mat, and they cut away from him pretty quick once they saw, like, oh, this is bad.
Mm-hmm. It was convulsing.
And you could see, like, as because like he rolled out of the ring just kind of on momentum, and he's laying there with his eyes open, and there's nobody home.
Yep.
And like, it scared the hell out of everybody. They stretchered him out, took him to the hospital. It was a concussion, and it was a pretty nasty concussion from what they're saying. But he's up, he's walking, he's talking, which is good because that's his thing.
Right.
But he's going to be out for a good little while. Anyway.
I was seeing to like probably August.
That sounds about right. Yeah, good couple of months at least. But
hopefully he comes back healthy. He's healthy, so that's the good thing is he's
that
not
it wasn't anything more serious. So he'll be back, and it'll when he comes back, because God, man, that dude cuts awesome promos.
Oh yeah,
he's
the best. I know.
It's killing me, but anyway, we'll have to just deal with the New Day, who are just so ridiculous. God, they're so good.
Yep.
But yeah, the matches were good. We now have Shane and Stephanie are going to co-run Raw, which is just okay, sure. McMahon sibling rivalry. That's the way to start a new era, right? Styles and Reigns was, predictable finish, but a good match. I mean, that was the thing. Like, the status quo was the same, but the wrestling was solid. Can't argue with it.
Yep.
But,
I was excited when they came out where it's like, no, we're keep it going, and then no disqualification. I was like, all right, here we go.
Right.
Switched it up a little bit, but same outcome as we all predicted.
Right. But
yeah. If they would have flipped, they would have got so many people excited if they would have given it to the other person.
Had AJ walked out of there holding that title up, they would have burned the internet down.
Yeah, I feel like we say this after every freaking pay-per-view.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but
cool.
We'll
so
I think everything stays the same until SummerSlam, pretty much, and then we'll see big shakeups. Then we will.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's get into some Flash. What'd you think?
Oh man. I loved how they solved the problem of he can't be the Flash in the meantime.
Yeah.
Like, not the end of it, but the temporary solution. I was like, that is rad. Like, that was so cool. And then we got to see, like, Zoom is not playing around anymore. No more kid gloves. Like, this is on.
Oh, yeah. There's so many Geek references in this with the Harry Potter and the Leroy. Like, it was just, bitch, whoever's writing him right now, hats off to you. That is awesome.
God, it makes me love and hate my job at the end of the season where I have to put Cisco's best moments together, because it's like this whole season. Like,
yes, it is so good. To me, he's my favorite on the show.
Yeah, it's like I try to do every reference, and I'm like, this whole show was a reference.
Yes, nothing better happened to him, by God. And I was afraid for his brother too. But yeah, dude, at the end when it was just, it's total Flash. What's the Flashpoint? Total Flashpoint. Like, it is. Did you ever read Flashpoint?
Yeah.
Okay, it is to the T Flashpoint. I knew that's how it was going to end, too. Spoiler alert, we're in spoiler section. Holy shit, when he just disappeared. And now we know how Wally, and what's her name? She's going to be a Flash, right?
Jesse Quick, yeah.
Jesse Quick. So now we know how they got their Flash abilities.
Yeah.
I was wondering how they were going to do that. Now it makes a lot of sense.
Now we've got it. Now we're going to build this little family.
Yes, so now when the Flash is injured, it doesn't feel like everyone's dead. Like, everyone's going to die.
Right.
Now we have a team. Now it's going to be really freaking cool to see them with their own suits. And, oh, man, I can't wait. This show has got me hyped. But anything else you want to say before we move on to Game of Thrones?
Let's get into Game of Thrones.
Kevin Smith's episode's next week, so that's really cool.
Yes, it is. That's going to be awesome.
He's getting an episode in Season 3 just announced.
Oh, just one? Because I think they wanted him back for like 3 or 4.
Or maybe more. I'm sorry, but it was just announced that he's like officially doing more next season. So
excellent.
Cool. All right, we got Game of Thrones, man. So what do you think? What do you think of the? Let's talk about the first one real fast.
Sure.
Well, we can talk about it all together, I guess.
We'll start at the beginning.
The Red Woman, yeah. And I thought that one was a little slow. It didn't open up with a bang.
Well, but it started. There was a comparison I was going to make, and I can't remember what it was. But this is where it needed to be. It's like The Walking Dead. This is where it starts. Like, you've had the big thing, now it begins on the fallout.
Yes, now this is where the pieces are being placed, so we kind of get an idea of where everyone's at, what everyone's going through, where Khaleesi is, where, oh god, Sansa is, where all these different people are, and I like where they ended up, because we could spend so long talking about where the characters are at, what they're doing. I liked how they set them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what the first episode was. I like that end scene with the Red Woman.
Yeah, because I remember when she said in an interview, like she's well over 100 years old. I was like, well, yeah, cool, magic and whatnot. Sure, that makes sense. And then you're like, a lot of magic.
Yes, and God,
like a whole lot of magic. Okay.
Right. I like what they did in Dorne when they killed what's his face.
Yeah, and that's the problem with Dorne. We can say, oh yeah, they killed the guy from the chair, and you're like, oh yeah, him. We don't know him either.
yeah, they haven't really explored. They have explored Dorne, but it doesn't seem too, like we have with the other characters and whatnot. That's
right.
Still. So I don't know. I like where everything was set up. We don't have too much longer, so let's get into episode 2. I think.
Yes.
Yes.
where we finally got the resolution we all knew was coming, but we were glad it happened anyway.
Right, exactly. And it's funny because George R. R. Martin talks about how he doesn't like that. I honestly believe in the book he's not going to bring him back.
Probably not. Well,
Eh,
but I mean, like, we know that there are going to be differences.
Like he referenced Wonder Man. He was like, I like when Wonder Man died because it meant something. But then when they brought him back, it felt like it took it away. And I was like, oh, like you're not going to bring him back in the book, So yes, and I loved how quiet it was at the end. Everyone walked out of the room, and you knew as the audience, you're like, are they really going to do it? I know they're good. I know they're going to bring him back, but
they dragged it out for just long enough.
Right? Maybe they don't. Maybe it cuts off, but no, he's and we've all had that. Like you just woke up from a nightmare and you're catching your breath and you like, oh man, it was so good. Now we have our Jesus.
I loved. I loved what was great was the order they left the room.
Yes.
Like Melisandre looked down and she was like, well, you know what? I wanted to believe, I really did, but it turns out everything's a sham, and she left. And then there's Redbeard in the background who's just kind of looking around going, all right, well, we're screwed. I need to set up the pyre, and out he goes. And there's Davos looking down, and he's just going, he's got to be thinking, he's like, I wanted to believe in something good.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's got to be it. Like this is where this was it. Like here was the one person that he's met. Everything was Stannis and everything else where these were corruptible people who kept sliding towards some kind of darkness, even in the name of anything good.
Right.
And now he's met Jon Snow, who is genuinely trying to do right. Mm-hmm. And he's staring there and he's standing there and he's like, this has to work. And finally he's like, nope, screw it. We've lost everything. And then he leaves.
Right.
And then there's Ghost who wakes up and he's like, oh hey, dude, wake up. We got a war to win. Come on.
Yes, exactly. And I'm so curious on what this means now. Is he gonna is he gonna come back and say, I've been to the other side, I know that, or is it all gonna be blackout for him, or is what does this mean for him? What could this make him a little darker? Who knows? Like it's totally open now for us to kind of question and see moving forward. And I loved how she was like, no, I don't understand. He's in my visions. I see him taking on the White Walkers and defeating them. This can't be right, and I loved that. And I loved that her prophecy was right. And so now we do have this character where it just seemed like Game of Thrones was just kicking us in the nuts over and over and over again. And as fans, we were like, no, fuck that. We need this win. We need someone to latch onto that has some hope. And yeah, after Jon Snow died, it's like, what do we have? Sansa? Like, come on, we need somebody. But
now
anyway.
we also have Willis.
We do. We do. I love that the dragons were released too. That was awesome.
Oh my god. And come on. Hats off to Tyrion for just being like, I drink and I know things. And then he goes and does a thing. And I love that he didn't recognize them. He recognized the madness, but he's going to hold on to that until the very end. Next time I have an idea like that, punch me in the face.
Exactly. I love what they're doing this season. I can't wait to see the next one. They went crazy in that episode and I loved it.
Yeah.
But we are running out of time. We'll be back next week at 9 p.m. On Wednesday, Eastern time on the N.FM. Go to our Facebook group, which is We Geek Podcast. There's two of them, like on one, comment on the other. Twitter, which I've now set to my default as the We Geek Podcast one, so I'm going to be tweeting from that mostly from now on. Yep, and our YouTube, our email, it's wegeekpodcast@gmail.com, and we will see you guys next week. Captain?